Então, esta apresentação será feita por Domenico Pangallo, chefe de Departamento de Ecologia Microbiana do Instituto de Biologia Molecular da Academia Eslováquia de Ciências. Sua investigação centra-se na forma como os micro-organismos afetam os objetos do património cultural e os seus ambientes, com o objetivo de os proteger e preservar para as próximas gerações. Mais detalhada a biografia do Domenico está também disponível nos nossos sites. Domenico, if you want to start.
So can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, my name is Domenico Pangallo, and today I speak a little bit about our analysis of 5 archives that are our partners in the Saga project. And of course, I would like to thank the organizers about this opportunity to give me to have this kind of lecture. So I am I work in the Institute of Molecular Biology, Slovak Academy of Sciences, and I am the head of the Department of Microbial Ecology. And also I am the responsible for the Laboratory of Environmental and Food Microbiology. Our research is environmental microbiology, so everything what is it in the environment, the microorganisms that are in the environment, mainly the microbial community that are in the environments, like environment that can be, of course, air, soil, but also water. And we have also other topic like the food microbiology, and mainly the fermented food like cheese or wine. And of course, we study also the biodegradation and biodeterioration of cultural heritage objects. Here is some example of what we have studied in Slovakia, different kind of object that belong to cultural heritage, to Slovakia cultural heritage. And of course, we have also experience with the different kind of cooperation in Europe, but in Spain, in Italy, but also in UK. And how you know, the archival items can be suffer about microbial contamination. Here in this slide, you can see some example that there are different kind of archival items like parchment, paper items, but also photography. And in the right part, there are these microscopic photo that you can see that in this part of the archive items can hide different kind of microorganisms that can be bacteria and mainly fungi. Important when we do some microbial analysis, of course, is the archival object, but for us it is very important the environment, the surrounding environment, mainly the air. So if we know the concentration of microorganisms in the air, we will know if your environment, so the archive environment, is safe or not. We use two kinds of approach: the culture-dependent approach and the culture-independent approach. The culture-dependent approach is the traditional microbiological method that you use culture media. You cultivate the microorganism and after they grow, and after you isolate, you purify, and you after identify. The culture-independent approach is that you don't use cultivation, but you extract the DNA from the environment, or maybe from the documents, from the archival documents, and after you study, you analyze the DNA, the extracted DNA, by high throughput sequencing. This is some example how to take the sample from archive items. You can see that we use sterile web, sterile tape, but also this kind of membranes The web membranes are very important because we use for culture dependent, but also for culture independent approach. You can see on the right that this standardized web sampling with this frame. In this way, we know how many microorganisms are per centimeter per what is it? Centimeter square centimeters. This is how we do the culture dependent analysis with this kind of device that aspire the air and trap the microorganism in specific plate. And this plate can be for fungi and also for bacteria. How we do after? Okay, we take these samples, we come to the lab, we cultivate the samples in a specific agar. These media are specific for fungi or for bacteria. And after that, we cultivate, we incubate, and we have the isolated microorganism. This isolated microorganism that you can see here were after purified, and the DNA will be extracted. After that, it is a method that is called PCR, polymerase chain reaction, that we amplify the DNA of specific gene. For bacteria is the 16S gene. For fungal can be the ITS or the 28 RNA gene. After that, after sequencing, Sanger sequences, in this case, we identified the microorganisms that grow in the plate. About the culture independent method, so the main method that use just the DNA, we trap, what is it? It is this new device that is called impinger, and we trap the airborne microorganism inside this water, inside this liquid that you can see here in this photo. After that, when we come to the lab with this water, with this buffer, we filter by the nitrocellulose membrane, and we isolate DNA from this nitrocellulose membrane. This is the workflow about the analysis of the DNA. So we have a membrane from the book, a membrane from the air. We extract the DNA. We always use the PCR amplification to amplify the 16S rRNA or the fungal 28S rRNA. After that, we purify the PCR product, and we do the hydrothroughput sequencing by this machine that is by Oxford Nanopore technology. This is the sequencing, how appear if it is successful. So you have many green pore active, and during Saga, very important was to package all the material that we need for sampling, because we were in the different cities around Europe, like Florence, Budapest, Lisbon, Malta, and Madrid. Madrid, we were at the end of October. And you can see here that we have the problem to package all these machine and all these devices. And of course, we use too big luggage, and we travel in these cities for sampling. And you can see here is the European University Institute, so the historical archive of European Union. And we did, of course, is a good archive, modern archive. We did the analysis of the air, and we did analysis also of the book and other kind of documents. And after that, you can see here the table about the concentration of microorganisms, that we have bacteria, we have fungi, but very important is not, okay, in each environment there are bacteria, fungi, but important is the concentration of these microorganisms. And for that, we use this CFU per cubic meter. That it means colony forming unit, so number of microorganisms per cubic meter. And you can see here by culture dependent analysis, we isolated the microorganism and we identified. After that, we also have the sample from book, from photo, and for other kind of archive items. In this case, we have the CFU per square centimeters. After the other step was Budapest, the National Archive of Hungary. Also here we use the same methodology, but you can see that we have different kind of environment, and we have also the different kind of building are different among them this building. And of course, we have also here a concentration. We calculate the concentration of microorganisms in the air. We know which kind of microorganisms are in the air. We know also if the document that the archivist provide us are contaminated or not. And then in May, we were in Lisbon. Lisbon also is a big archive and also a different archive than the other. So this we need to say also during our report. And similar to the other archive, we calculate the concentration of microorganisms in air. And after that, also the microorganisms that were collected from different kind of archive objects, like handmade paper, parchment, photos, and so on. One of the before Madrid was the National Archive of Malta. And you can see also this photo. Again, the concentration of the microorganism in the air by culture dependent method by cultivation. These are some microorganisms that we have found in the air and in the book in Malta. And about one thing important, that about the concentration of microorganisms in air is not is not a standard, but there are some guidelines from the World Health Organization, WHO, and I found also some guidelines for the Ministero della Cultura of Italy. And these guidelines are a little bit, of course, are a little bit different, because a safe environment should have 500 CFU per cubic meter, about WHO. About the Ministry of Culture of Italy should have for bacteria 750, and for fungi is enough 150. So different kind of value. But if we analyze all of this, our the archive that is in the Project Saga, we can say that approximately in the repository they don't have such kind of problem. The concentration of microorganisms is not so high, but maybe some archive they have problem in the visitor rooms and maybe in the restoration lab. So after that, we also start with the isolation, with the extraction of DNA, and also we know now with kind of microbial community, the total microbial community that can be in air and in the document for in each archive. These are some examples. Each color represented one microorganism. These are bacteria in the Historical Archive of European Union in Florence. Also, we have the fungi, the molds that are in Florence in the air in the document. The same analysis was done in Budapest. Bacteria, fungi, and also in Lisbon. About Malta and Madrid, these analyses are under progress, so we will have hopefully soon. And these are the fungi that we have analyzed that we have detected in Lisbon. Important about the DNA analysis is that you can detect microorganisms that you can cultivate, but also microorganisms that you cannot cultivate by the normal microbiological method. So for this, it is important to have these two approaches because they are complementary. After that, by the DNA, is possible to process the various kind of the data by the different kind of statistical tools. This is the beta diversity of the different kind of archive here and the document. And you can see also the differences. We can see, for example, that the Budapest document has a different microbiota, a different microbial community than Lisbon about bacteria. And also the air of Florence is different than the air of Lisbon. So you can process this data with many kind of statistical tool, and you can differentiate among the various archives. Just a few conclusions. We can say that about the fungi, but also the bacteria, we don't have in the air such all these archives are in almost good condition about the repository. We have some problem maybe in Hungary about the visitor rooms, and in Malta about the restoration room. There is a high concentration of Microbacterium and in many cases of Acinetobacter. And about fungi, the most spread one is Aspergillus, and in Portugal especially is Geotrichum. And we can see also that about the documents, we don't have a danger of contamination by the culture-dependent method, by the cultivation method. We have isolated just microorganisms that are commensal of human commensal, so that belong to the operator, maybe like Cutibacterium, Staphylococcus, and Bacillus. Of course, we isolate also very fastidious microorganism molds like Aspergillus, Cladosporium, Penicillium, that they can provoke some illness. And the culture-dependent analysis don't say too much, but the culture independent, so the DNA say us that maybe in this condition that are now the archive is not a bad condition, but when the condition will be better for the microorganism, they can grow and they can use their cellulolytic and proteolytic ability. So I advise very well to have periodic monitoring, mainly of the air of these archive galleries and so on. So I think that this is all. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening. And I would like to thank, of course, my group that you can see in this photo, all the partners of the Saga project that are here in this slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Domenico, for your presentation.